Hello. House passes a bill that could lead to a ban on TikTok, making NPCs everywhere lose their minds. Two old people talk about TikTok in a hilarious new way. White House says that borrowing $16 billion trillion gajillion dollars is actually a good thing for generations to come. Chris Cuomo, redemption arc? Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo both in the news at the same time? What's going on in today's world? White girl on death row. And not only this, Republicans are now wanting to ban hate speech. Didn't see that one coming. That was not on my bingo card. Joe Biden lies, talks about crime going down and people feeling safe, when in reality that's not true whatsoever. CNBC has an absolute insane moment on TV. Janet Yellen says, "I'm sorry about the whole transitory inflation thing. We were wrong." Snickers freaks out over Joe Biden and Joe Rogan and so much more. This is a terrible sense. Welcome to the revolution. Hello. Ladies and gentlemen, we gather around today for the loss of people and their jobs. They took our jobs. NPCs everywhere are freaking out at the idea of TikTok being banned. This great loss of a truly unremarkable group. I speak of the NPCs, the brave souls that coveted the most coveted position in TikTok. That is, thanks for the likes. Is that a cucumber? Yum, yum, yum. The NPCs, the most non-playable characters. Those without any discernible skills but could repeat a line over and over again if you gave them money. Profiles full of content. Imagine the audacity, the sheer will it takes that every day to wake up and stare into a camera, repeat line after line, and thinking, you know what? I'm contributing to society. You have no choice but to pay attention to these dance moves. The same line over and over again. These are the heroes that dare to dream. They made the rest of us feel like Renaissance men and women. Simply in comparison, they were the human equivalent of trying to push a pull door. Entertaining onlookers, confused, mildly frustrating, and ultimately harmless, endearing. But alas, as the digital tide turns, our beloved NPCs find themselves without a job. Play that music again. Without a job, and we're over here laughing about it. No longer will their aimless wandering grace feed our feeds, no longer with the lack of talent, but by the benchmark that we measure our own mediocre achievements. Where will these people go? Taco Bells are closing down. Where will they work? What will they do? Fear not, for history has shown that there is always a place for people with no real skills, and that is to become politicians. So let us raise a glass to the fallen NPCs of the world, for they will be our politicians. They will be our kings and queens. These people will write bills that will take things away from you and freedoms that you thought you never had. I'd like to introduce my bill on Capitol Hill. Yum, yum, yum. My Capitol Hill bill. Yum, yum, yum. Yum, 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 yum. May these middle-aged men like myself join me in talking about politics. Join me in the mediocre task that is sharing the news of the day. They have a gift. Let me say something to the NPCs of the world. Don't hide this in a bushel. You're so loved. Love you. One more time for the intro. Go.
Welcome to the revolution.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Derek O'Shea Show. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. I'm just pulling up my chat. How are we feeling on this lovely day? Just radiant. You're not that NPC whore. I hope you like my new background. Just a little bit St. Patty's Day for my people. Got the presidents in the background. And just a little hat. Who doesn't love a little St. Patty's Day hat? Really feeling festive. Shout out to all the festive people in the whole world. Charmanello, what's up on Twitch? The rare Twitch hello. That is such a rare thing for me. I never have people on Twitch. We will always remember NPCs for everything they've given to us. I can't think of a more depressing thing in my life. I couldn't stop thinking about what are these people going to do without a job? Just like, yeah, cool. We would love for you to come apply to work at Home Depot. What kind of skills in your last job? Have you ever dealt with a bad customer? Yes, this one time I had a customer that kept giving me corn on the cob, and I had to keep saying corn on the cob, yum, yum, yum. And it was just so much for me to do every single day, but I did everything I can to get over the hump that is being stuck in a creativity hole. God, these poor people. They won't be forgotten, but they will always be forgotten. House passes bill that could lead to U.S. ban on TikTok. What is your stance on this? What is your thoughts on this? Should it be banned? Should it be placed in American servers? Do we trust American companies such as Airbnb or Google that already give their information to China anyways? On Wednesday, GOP-led House bill that could lead to a ban on TikTok users and the Chinese-based parent company. I will say this about TikTok. Your algorithm is your algorithm. A lot of people, a lot of boomers, a lot of older people don't understand that if you like crappy content, if you like 2-second clips, if you like whatever the Pride stuff, whatever affiliation you want to be a part of, that's what you will get. That algorithm on TikTok is incredible. It figures you out so fast. And there is long form content. It's like some of these people that have these commentary channels, I'm like, have you ever used TikTok in your life? There is long form content on TikTok. I'm on TikTok. TikTok is the fastest growing platform for me. I've like quadrupled the amount of followers on TikTok than any other thing. Now, there's a lot of terrible stuff about TikTok, and the fact that our information is shared with China, I mean, that's horrible. But it's just also a platform. So, should it be banned? Probably. We should probably get rid of it. But I wish some of these politicians would actually prioritize our safety or prioritize our information. All these politicians that are all for this ban on TikTok are very making a lot of money off the Meta stock, aren't they? What is Facebook stock today? I bet it went up today. Let's see. Meta stock. I didn't even check it today. Okay. It is gone down. But over the last month, it's gone up 4.71%. But I do know a lot of politicians own a lot of stock in Meta. And if this ban passes, I guarantee you this stock will definitely shoot up. And I don't guarantee it because I'm not a financial advisor. But what is your thoughts on this? It's kind of, I don't know what to think of it. There'll be another TikTok. I mean, if it's all about the short clips, you can't stop it. You can't stop the short clips. They're too effective. They're easy to get people hooked on it. I mean, You think these companies that know that you can be hooked on under 60-second clips, they're going to all of a sudden stop it? No. They want you hooked. They want you on their apps. They want you consuming their content, even their commercials that look like content. There'll be another one. You cannot stop this. Whether it's good or bad for you, that's one thing. But you can't stop what's already started. Rumble stock, since they are buying proposed to... yeah, dude, I'm in Rumble. Violet, I am heavy in Rumble. And I'm glad I'm finally making profit on Rumble. I've been holding for an incredibly long time with Rumble. I think it's important to always hear from our politicians and what they think about the TikTok bill themselves. So here's Nancy Pelosi talking about the TikTok bill. Pay very close attention to what she says and how she looks.
The vote this morning was a vote to protect the national security of our country and the privacy of our citizens. I pointed out at the time that the TikTok in China broadcast into Taiwan. The vote this morning was a vote to protect the national security of our country and the privacy of our.
You should put Snapchat filters on every single politician every time they talk just to make it more interesting. Period. She's like, I'm buying more Meta stock and maybe even thinking about buying Rumble. Willie, what's up, dude? How we feeling, my friend? Shout out to the Rumble chat, holding it down. Nancy Pelosi. I don't even know who this face is, but I want to know. letting the Nancy. She is. Look at, she's such a peach.
And the privacy of our.
I all of a sudden have empathy towards her now that she looks like this, because she's a ginger, and a little place in heaven for my ginger friends, my people. How you guys doing in the chat? How are we feeling today? We feeling good? It's Wednesday, and TikTok ban. Seems like every airplane known to mankind isn't having a safe flight. Am I the only one that is looking at what's going on in the news when it comes to airlines and thinking, maybe I won't take that flight. Maybe just not right now. And maybe that's what they want me to say. It's hard to tell like what is conspiracy and what is truth in today's world. I like at this point, it just doesn't. It's hard to track. It's like, do they want us to fly? If they don't want us to fly, do they want us to be afraid to fly? Is it all just Boeing airplanes? Is it all part of the? It just seems like a company of that size, willingly and knowingly putting their people that get in the airplanes in danger immediately. That just seems like a lawsuit from hell. And I don't know what to believe when it comes to it. It's Wednesday over here in New Zealand. It's Thursday. Shout out to New Zealand. How's the sheep over there? It's New Zealand. You guys had a plane that didn't do too well just the other day. I saw that in the news. Speaking of the news, the other day I was talking about Chris Cuomo on PBD podcast. Value entertainment, as they say. I remember what I told you about value entertainment as well, how they got rich. Look into that and that history of how Patrick Bet-David actually got rich and how that company operates. But allegedly, I digress. Chris Cuomo is joining Value Entertainment. Why? I see, the other day when I saw Chris Cuomo on Tucker Carlson, I thought, okay, silly, but sure. Okay, great. And then he's been on PBD podcast multiple times. But his points are so obvious, and he's one of the biggest grifters known to mankind. This is like the ultimate grifter move. And Patrick Bet-David said that this is part of capitalism or some crap. Why? How? You're putting on people that willingly and knowingly lied about so many circumstances during the COVID lockdowns, pretended to be locked down in his basement, pretended to say hello to his wife for the first time while he was quarantining, basically assaults another guy on a bicycle, lied for his brother. I get it's brotherly love, but also there was people that died. And you're just supposed to like welcome him. Patrick, you want those kind of people around you? I get that you want like a leftist side or a moderate take. I think that's fantastic. But him, if I willingly knew somebody was like an incredible grifter, an ultimate liar, is willingly okay with just lying and just kind of a douche and the whole 100-pound weight over his head, and then that's the kind of people you want to hire in your company for a voice? Really? That kind of tells me a lot about you, man. I'm just going to be honest. I don't trust you. I don't trust this guy. And I thought PBD podcast came out of nowhere on my feed, and I was like, why do I care about this person? And it had like so many views. And now seeing Chris Cuomo join, I just have little respect for them. I don't like, he didn't apologize, you know? It would be different if he came out and said, you know what? I got wrapped up in the news. I got wrapped up in my self-image. I lied to the American people. I lied about my circumstances. I should have called my brother out on a lot of crap. It was not okay. Maybe we can have a discussion. But I can't get in bed with people that are just ultimately liars. It's disgusting. It feels greasy to me. It doesn't feel right to me. And I can't support this kind of stuff. Am I alone in this? Do you agree with me? Do you agree that like maybe you should just distance yourself from people who are just grifters and liars? I don't want to be around these people, and you shouldn't either. They bring you down, and I guarantee you. I mean, his takes are so dumb anyways. He's not a deep thinker. I mean, but maybe he just fits in line with what's going on there. You tell me. You guys let me know. What do you guys think about that Chris Cuomo hire, as they say? That little hire. I can't get into it, guys. I'm Chris is scum. Yeah, exactly. What are we doing here? Value in. I think there's a good chance that he might take this down, and he might see how many people start freaking out over it and disagreeing with him, and slowly get rid of him. His excuse for making women uncomfy is just, oh yeah, I forgot about the whole women uncomfy thing. Like I can't even keep up with all these people and their drama, you know. He's just Italian. He's just a Fredo. Fredo is basically the same as saying the N-word. And so, yes, I will still use the clips. And yes, I will still call it out. But don't be afraid to call this stuff out. Don't be afraid to like start boycotting. If I brought on somebody on my show that was just an out-known, lying, douchebag, please call me out. Because that does not represent me as a human being. You know what I mean? Even if it is for clicks. It's so scammy. Okay. And then we have Don Lemon. I didn't even know Don Lemon has a show on X. But apparently, he just got fired from his show on X after an interview with Elon. Elon Musk canceled the partnership I had with X, he says. And this is an Instagram post that Don Lemon put out, which they announced as part of the public commitment to amplifying more diverse voices on the platform. Really? Don Lemon is a diverse voice? A corporate shill like Don Lemon? I put Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo in the same boat. They're both the same human beings. One's black, one's white. One's gay, one's straight. The interview will remain the premiere episode on the Don Lemon Show on Monday, March 18th. Elon publicly encouraged me to join X with a new show, saying I would have full support. And that, you know, the weirdest thing is like seeing some of these bigger people with these bigger platforms, these bigger shows, try to get in the podcast world like you're in with me right now. What they don't understand is like a lot of people do this for free, like I'm doing. Like just do it for fun, do it for free, do it, you know, as a way as coping through the insanity that is this world. And so when they figure out that, oh, you know, people aren't watching, you can't just like force people to watch a show like on CNN. You have to encourage people, beg people, be entertaining, and you have to do all these things. It's not just going to be shown on at the airport. And I think people are just like figuring that out. And he's one of them. I would have full support, and his digital town square is for all. It's not a digital town square. Again, X is not a free speech platform. That is not true. There is still hate speech that gets demonetized or taken down. And especially when you talk about Jewish people, it's just one of those things, whether I agree with what they're saying or not, like you're allowed to say these things if you are about free speech. He and his team pursued the deal, numerous conversations, made significant commitments about the support X would provide for the show. I made the decision to work with them in a unique partnership that I believe would ultimately assure that my work would be available to most people. In the largest possible venue, I took Elon and his management team for the first time. It's just like, you start work one day, you get fired because you press them on questions that seem unreasonable and you're bitching about it. There were no restrictions on the interview that you willingly agreed to. Yeah, but if you are in a partnership with somebody, you can't be a douchebag to somebody and expect them to be like, that's cool, dude. Free speech, bro. Like, I can't go up to my boss and be like, you suck, you're ugly, no one likes you, you're not attractive, and you're also racist. Can I keep my job? It's just not how it works. And my questions were respectful and wide-ranging, covering everything from SpaceX to the presidential election. We had a good conversation. He felt our conversation will be available on YouTube. Okay. But you will be banned, just limited. Yeah, that's true. Little censorship. Thanks, Violet. Don is under the scum. Yes, Willie. But here's the part of the interview that I think is probably the reason he got the sack. The reason he was taken down. Again, when you work in a job, you can't be a douchebag to your boss and expect to keep your job. It's just part of the thing. You know, if I got in partnership with Rumble and I was like, with Rumble, I wouldn't go on the platform of Rumble and talk nonstop crap about Rumble and how crappy it is and how some people shouldn't use that platform. That would be a dumb business move. So always remember that too as well. Any podcasters you watch with their sponsors, they won't talk crap about the sponsor because they want to make money. And so here's the part in the interview where I think he got taken down. Here we go. Let's just get a Fox News alert. Fox News alert. Don Lemon lost his job.
Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats? I don't have to answer these questions. The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
Illuminating in so many ways. Right?
See, I think that's where when you start talking about Great Replacement Theory, it's like such a stupid argument as far as like they make it out to only be a racist thing as opposed to just like, 8 million migrants coming across the country replacing people that could potentially have those jobs or other Americans that could take. It's just stupid. And then here's him crawling back to CNN for the exclusive interview because nothing says grifter like losing your job, getting fired from a job, then going on a new platform, talking crap to your boss right to his face, and then going back to your old job you got fired from. The Fox News alert, don't do that. Fox News alert, do not talk crap to your boss. Go to your new boss, talk crap, and then go back to your old boss talking about how your older, second oldest boss was crap. Fox News alert. Okay, here is him going.
I could care less.
Illuminating in so many ways. Right? I have two things I want to ask you about that, Don. First, the Great Replacement Theory. Right.
Yes.
As you bring it up,
right.
He has tweeted a tweet he shared. Increasing illegals boost Dem voting power, causing them to recruit more. Mm-hmm. If Dems win President, House, and Senate, they'll grant citizenship to all illegals, and America will become a permanent one-party deep socialist state. Right? He has gone there directly. How much does he stand by these ideas?
Well, he didn't quite seem to understand that he did, originally he did that with Jewish people, sort of a great replacement theory thing that he did with Jewish people, and he got in trouble and he had to go to Auschwitz and answer questions and apologize and go with Ben Shapiro. But he doesn't understand. And that sort of rhetoric that he talks about, the great replacement theory and migrant invasion, that's what radicalized shooters use in their manifestos. Those exactly. The people who go and shoot up people, whether they be Latino people who live in Texas or black people who are in a supermarket in Buffalo or Jewish people who are worshiping, those people use this.
Or what about the transgender? Just kidding. That's a right-wing talking point. God.
Same rhetoric.
It's always the same thing, isn't it? It's like, when's the last... It's like, it's always a white guy. But then all these other, when black people do stuff or Latinos do stuff or transgender people do stuff or it's like, or, Muslims do stuff. It's like, I don't remember what you just said. I can only remember when white people do evil acts. Okay, here we go.
That they are tropes, that they're either racist for Latinos or black people or for Jewish people.
Yes.
And I wanted to know if he felt any responsibility as someone who has one of the largest social media and information platforms in the world.
Quarter billion people.
A quarter billion people. I think it's 455 or 500 million users a week. And it doesn't seem that he feels that he has any responsibility with that because he seemed really averse to facts. That facts did not matter to him. It didn't matter that he retweeted things that were offensive to people. And this whole, the whole idea.
I will never, ever retweet anything that's offensive to anyone. He's just crawling back to CNN. This is his he's like kneeling as low as, he's like, am I kneeling low enough? Can I come back to CNN? I'll get lower. I swear to God. I will say whatever you want. I'll give you the inside scoop on Elon Musk. I swear. Our conversation is available on YouTube. Wherever you listen to podcasts on X, it will be the first of many episodes for the Don Lemon Show. This is like the ultimate grift. No one wants to watch this show. So instead of actually making good content or being engaging or fun or unique or whatever, he's like, you know what? I'm going to talk crap to Elon to his face. And then I'm going to have an exclusive thing on CNN. I wouldn't doubt it if they planned this. Because why not? Because obviously he's not going to pick up listeners on X. He's going back to CNN like, guys, remember I'm starting a podcast. K-Bean, what's up? Why is he talking to her? Isn't she just past her prime? God, I missed that. Yeah, she is past her prime. Dude, you got me, man. You freaking got me. Yeah. She is past her prime. Look at that. He is itching to say that. Yeah, you're past your prime. Nobody wants to have babies with you, girl. Trust me. God. This redemption arc of Don Lemon and Chris Cuomo back in the news, it's too much for me to take. I can't do it. These people, I thought we were done with these people. It's like grifters have always got a grift. It's like Dylan Mulvaney. I'm not going to play that video because I don't know, it's just too much. But Dylan Mulvaney just put out a new hip hop or pop song, and it's just, it's like womanhood song. It's just like, I can't deal with these grifters. They just, the minute they fail in one thing, they just go into the next thing. They're just little grifter goblins. They're just like, what can I do next? How can I get more views? I'll sell my soul to the devil himself if it means that I can get one more like on my YouTube. Next, he's just gonna blow up. Like, he's gonna blow up the next interview on CNN. He's gonna have some outrageous thing. He's like, "I'm Don Lemon. I'm ready to call out anybody I see. Elon Musk, old women on CNN, and maybe even you. Do you want to be called out by Don Lemon? Join me on Cameo, $85, and I'll talk crap to you all day long." God, I think it's so funny too, just like making a post like this. I don't know. It's like, who made this post? You? Probably not. Your assistant? Maybe. Or more importantly, ChatGPT-4. Will you write me a resignation letter of me ending my time with X? Tell us more about how crime isn't a problem, even though that there's National Guard in the subway. Oh, I'm getting to that, K-Bean. You can trust me on that. You can friggin' trust me on that. I had to talk about Don Lemon because he is the worst. Okay. But first I'm going to talk about this. I got to call out Republicans. Okay. Derek O'Shea calls out Republicans. Look, I saw this. God, I'm sorry. I just sometimes hate YouTube so much and the cringe that is streamers like myself sometimes. All right. This clip going around on Real America's Voice with Kristi Noem. Hair extensions much? Oh my God. We are back to conservatives being the cringe people. When did this happen? It's like Republicans, you can, the T-ball is set for you. Joe Biden is in office. All you have to do is hit the ball. It's sitting there. And they're like, no, hold my beer. We got Katie Britt coming in the hot. And now we got Kristi Noem talking about hate speech laws because of Jews. Please listen.
You can deal with anti-Semitism. Meanwhile, Washington fumbles it. A big one today, right? You're going to be signing some historic legislation to take on the scourge of anti-Semitism.
Yeah, we actually did that just a couple of hours ago. We signed a bill that defined what anti-Semitism was. It gave powerful examples that we can use in litigation and in court to make sure that hate crimes stop, not just in South Dakota, but this will be used as model legislation in many other states because it is written so strong and it was unified within the Jewish community, within the groups that have always stood strong with Israel, and it is something that we will use throughout the United States of America to make sure that anti-Semitism is stopped. I think all of us were horrified by what happened on October 7th. And what I was even more horrified about after that was the pro-Hamas support that some uneducated people in this country endorsed and wrapped their arms around. So we're going to use this as an opportunity not just to stop hate crimes, but to stand with our Israel allies and to also make sure that we're pushing back on terrorist organizations who want to destroy not just Israel, but also the United States of America.
Yes, Kristi Noem and her New Jersey look. It's a Jersey thing. Get over it, eh? God, hate crime. Oh my God. You know what? I hate hate crimes in general. It's just a crime. Can we just call it that? Why does it have to be? Look, free speech is free speech. I thought we were. When you hear this kind of stuff, you're going to also hear, she would probably say something in the next 5 minutes of but I stand for free speech and the Constitution. No, you don't, girl. No, you don't. You don't stand for free speech. You don't stand for the Constitution. Like I don't stand for your extreme and heavy use of Ozempic. Allegedly. Allegedly. Oh my God. This is what happens. Didn't she just recently lose her man? Or they just got divorced? She's losing her mind. We need to say a prayer for Kristi Noem to get her mind back. Okay?
You crazy as hell.
I know. But this is crazy as hell. I don't want Republicans to go back to this. Republicans, do not go back to the old censorship arc. I don't want it. Man. Exactly, Joe. I don't want it. I don't want it. There are bigger things going on in the world than anti-Semitism. I am not worried about people saying negative things about Jews. People say negative things about gingers all the time. No one cares about us. Gingers are real people too. You know what? I will support the bill for hate speech against anti-Semitism the minute you have an bill for ginger hate. Support me, I'll support you. That's how it works. Gingers have feelings too, I know. Remember Don Lemon saying he had dinner outside the COVID with no problem? No, yeah, exactly. No, no Botox gone wrong, Katie Britt. Yeah, oh God. She's probably not. Is she on Botox? I mean, I know she's like super, super skinny, but I don't know. It's about time we start skinny shaming. Yes. Yeah, have a little flub like the rest of us, all right? Those of us that don't have Ozempic bodies, it's a struggle every day, okay? We're out here struggling. We're out here having to choose not to eat when we don't really feel like eating, but we want to eat because we like binge eating, because sometimes you just have a hard day at work and you want to binge eat. You know what I mean? Hate speech is free speech, says Willie. That's a lie, Willie. Hate speech is different than free speech. Don't you love when people say that? Like, do you listen? Those are the type of people that don't listen to themselves when they talk. You know, they don't, you could tell them they said that, and then they are like, I don't remember saying these things. It's just so crazy. Hey, now I'm swole. I'm swole. Stay swole. I mean, support gingers like me. Look at this. Dude, I am loving it. This is a dream of mine right here. Having a room like this. I just want to like smoke a pipe in it. Maybe open up an old book and just go to town. Want to play some jazz music in here? Something. Small and swole. All right, let's get to the crime. It's a crime-free season, baby. I'm excited about crime. And you should be too. I have a bunch of crime back to back. Okay. Let's go through the crime spree. Crime in America is getting worse, but according to Joe Biden, it's...
Folks, at the same time, America deserves the freedom to be safe from crime. And America is safer today than when I took office.
Exactly. America deserves the right to be crime. This story being passed around, Missouri AG wants 15-year-old girl who bashed teenager's head into concrete to be tried as an adult. There's like this insane story going around that I will play this story for. It's really sad, but there's more stories to come. Knife-wielding man in NYC steals $200 in bounty. Skyrocketing crime around Taco Bells in Oakland are shutting down. You know it's bad when the Taco Bells are like, enough. Okay, but here is a really sad story. And here is me not being prepared for a commercial. What's up, Papa? Sipping on gin and juice. Lay back. Oh, God. You know, it's a long story.
Wood East High School student remains in critical condition, and a 15-year-old girl is in juvenile custody after a disturbing fight near campus. Video of that attack from Friday afternoon has gone viral on social media. New tonight, Annie Krall spoke with criminal justice and teen violence experts about what comes next, Annie.
That 15-year-old suspect is currently being held by St. Louis County Family Court on assault charges, but experts tell me that could change.
There's the video in the background.
A video shared and watched thousands of times of the fight on Friday next to Hazelwood East High School, a student's head smashing into the pavement repeatedly. We will not show the full video due to how graphic it is. Tina Meyer's 13-year-old daughter died by suicide after excessive bullying in 2006, gaining national attention. Now Meyer is teaching teenagers how to de-escalate their differences without violence. Watching the viral Hazelwood cell phone video,
it was horrifying. Watching all of those kids standing around.
The victim and suspect's names haven't been released because they're both minors. That's a requirement by state law. Director of Criminology and Criminal Justice at SLU, Dr. Diane.
I'm not going to play the video. It's really sad. It's crazy.
How does it become the case where they do get bumped up from the juvenile court and they end up being treated almost as an adult?
So with very serious offenses, the statute provides for sort of an automatic hearing to see if this child is an appropriate subject of juvenile court jurisdiction or not.
St. Louis County.
Is that transgender?
Prosecutor Wesley Bell
It's hard to
saying
tell
on
these days. Sorry, I know.
social media, quote, "It's a juvenile court matter unless it is certified. The certification decision is up to the juvenile court officials. A hearing date hasn't been announced." McGuire says if the victim were to die, the suspect could be facing first or second degree murder charges.
When you put something out on social media and it goes viral and it's as horrific as this was, and now you're going to get the aftermath of where people are going to be saying things and the social media is going to continue. It's on TMZ.
Missouri Attorney General posted on social media saying the suspect should be tried as an adult. Tina Meyer travels across the country teaching teens how to speak.
Yeah, you should be. If you're smashing someone's head into the concrete repeatedly after you've already won the fight, you should be tried as an adult. And you might say, Derek, but that's just like a crazy moment in someone's life. Yeah, that's how crime works. You make the wrong decision that you ultimately regret in the end, hopefully, unless you're a psychopathic killer, and then you're going to jail for the rest of your life. Sorry, girl, you can't bash somebody's head into this concrete and be like, yeah, W, and then they die. Anyways, next story. Knife-wielding man in NYC bandit steals more than 200 in Bounty paper towels. Not only are NYC subways unsafe, but now safer due to the National Guard. People are stealing paper towels. New York is a lovely place, and Taco Bells are closing down in Oakland due to rising crime. What is Oakland coming to? That's when you know it's bad. Oakland residents are upset at the franchise owner of Taco Bell fast food for skyrocketing crime. One location was robbed 4 times in as many months. The location on 35th Avenue in MacArthur was robbed when robbers used a cable to steal the safe from the store through a broken window. 2 or 4 robberies were called. Robberies are skyrocketing, and it's all in Democratic districts. But this is the redemption arc. Okay, this is the part where I start to get a little excited because you always have to think about these things, right? When there is like a need, there's like a vacuum being created. There's the police are gone, the DAs are letting people out, and then the police feel like they shouldn't even arrest people anymore because what's the point? Now you're going to have business owners and average everyday citizens like you and me rising up. And this is what I love to see. Business owners threaten to stop paying taxes till Oakland addresses devastating crime. Now you want to watch a government act quickly, stop paying taxes. Then all of a sudden they care. Because the biggest crime you could possibly commit is not giving their government their money. Oh, you thought it was your money? You thought you worked hard for your money? That's their money, and they will make sure of it. Some business owners in Oakland are threatening to stop paying taxes. God. Oh, please. Until the city, I wish we'd all, it's always that saying, what if we all band together and said, I'm not paying taxes anymore. Jose Ortiz, the owner of La Perra, Puerto Rican cuisine, says his restaurant has been robbed at gunpoint twice in just the past 2 years. It says his business has dropped 25% because customers don't feel safe in the area. Okay, there's this. And here's another story. Gun-toting citizens. Ah, yes. Militias. Oh, white supremacy militias? No, they're black. Gun-toting citizens. You want to freak out Republicans and all of a sudden be for gun progress? Well, give a black man a gun. No, this is awesome. I would love to see citizens in my neighborhood walking around with guns to protect the city. Great. Gun-toting citizens patrol cities' violent areas as part of self-defense brigade, but mayor reportedly doesn't like it. Yeah. Hey, that's our job to allow these people to do whatever they want. I just saw this guy. Is that Dennis Rodman? No, that's Cornell Lewis, man. Shout out to Cornell Lewis. Look, they're picking up trash. They're going around picking up stuff. Marcus Long. Shout out to Marcus Long. Oh, love it. Armed citizens. Another commercial. They're killing me. What's all these creepy old dudes?
The versatile building system. It's so easy. Your son can do it.
Not my son. He's transgender.
Well, now to a controversial new armed citizens patrol in Hartford. Organizers say that people will legally carry as they walk parts of the city where violence has taken a toll, though some, including the city's mayor, are raising concerns about the effort. NBC Connecticut's Matt Austin has more.
In Hartford's North End on Saturday,
We are legally armed! Legally armed! You will be patrolling!
a group of people look to patrol and clean up Garden Street.
It's important to come out here because we believe
Imagine caring for your own neighborhood.
Safe, that you keep the community clean. And we're doing this by being out here for a few hours, cleaning up the community, picking up the trash.
Garden Street has seen its share of gun violence, including a double homicide in February, which is what prompted the push for civilian armed patrols.
The people on Garden Street came to us.
My man.
And asked us for help.
While there did not appear to be open carry, which is banned in Connecticut, organizers previously told us those armed would be licensed and have concealed weapons. They were part of Minister Cornell Lewis's self-defense brigade.
We are not vigilantes. We are a group of people that are disciplined,
the goggles,
trained, who go
this
to
is
the
superhero
the
look.
effort faces opposition, including from an anti-violence group and the Hartford mayor. Mayor Arunan Arulampalam wrote in part, Our community has been so much pain and trauma, and what we need is for those who love this city to do the hard work of healing that pain. The mayor added that the city did not need people being trained to walk the streets with guns and trying to take the law into their own hands.
Can anybody go to the gun range?
Earlier, there was a talk about gun rights, including how to get a permit, safe storage and carry, and personal use.
I love this because it's like they don't want people, taking arms and going to the streets. That's exactly what you're forcing. But it's almost like you guys should know that, right? And it begs the question, are they doing this on purpose? Are they making crime skyrocket so that we rise up and then they crush us with their military and then take away our freedoms for our safety? You always have to wonder. When the government and law enforcement fail, vigilantes will rise. Oh, 100%. Where's my super suit? Where is my super suit? Boondock Saints. Dude, yes. Oh, God. I need to watch that movie. I haven't seen that movie in a minute. Why is it always old dudes who become trans? What's up, Papa? Must have been one hell of a mess to clean up. I'm glad I wasn't the only one thinking that. Okay, no, you weren't the only one thinking that, dude. Where is my super suit, honey? God, that's such a good movie. Shout out to The Incredibles. Yeah, so maybe things aren't safer than they've always been. Huh? Maybe Joe Biden is lying about that. Just maybe. It's called the Clown Piven Strategy: Force Failure to Capitalism. Let me just look that up real quick. I like that. Clown Piven Strategy. Is there a video on this? 57 minutes. The Clown Piven Strategy steps in aftermath. What is this? Study.com. Little lesson?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yes.
And of course, if it ain't fixed, break it.
Don't break it.
That's the basic theory behind one of the most controversial American political theories of the 20th century. The Cloward Piven strategy is a political gambit designed to overwhelm the American government by placing so many demands on the bureaucratic structure that it collapses. It's sort of a shock and awe campaign, a surprise attack on entrenched systems meant to force major changes to the ways that things are handled by the government. It may be messy, but it does harken back to a fundamental ideology of the American Republic. If it ain't fixed, break it. To understand the Cloward Piven strategy, we need to head back to the 1960s.
Ooh.
The nation was swept in a decade of political activism and, at times, almost revolutionary campaigns against entrenched systems of racism and prejudice. Also, there were hippies. It's always important to remember that. Anyway, in 1965, a race riot broke out in a traditionally African-American neighborhood of Los Angeles after a heavy use of police force to subdue a black man accused of drunk driving. It was only one of many race riots to occur throughout American cities in that decade. It was evident that something needed to change. and 2 sociologists from Columbia University developed a plan. According to Richard Andrew Cloward and Francis Fox Piven, the wealthy used the welfare system to keep the poor subjugated, to maintain institutional systems of inequality. This prevented real change from occurring and disproportionately impacted African Americans, many of whom lived in working-class urban neighborhoods. As Cloward would state in a later interview, the poor could only advance when the rest of society learned to fear them. They needed a revolution.
Wait, so...
In 1966, Cloward and Piven published their theories in the May issue of The Nation magazine.
I thought that was going to be a fun learning opportunity for all of us. But I like that if it ain't broke, fix it. Interesting. That is so...
The Clowder Euro Piven strategy Piven about its...
I mean, that is like depressing. Ooh, what is this?
Called the Cloward that teaches exactly what's happening. It's called the Cloward Piven strategy. Look it up. Fact check me on this. It was first proposed in 1966 at Columbia University by a professor named Richard Clower. And you know who went to Columbia? Who was taught this curriculum at Columbia? Well,
Obama.
Lots of notable presidents, cabinet secretaries, and attorney generals. To name a few, remember 2016 who was president? Oh, Obama. Yeah, he went to Columbia. Madeleine Albright, U.S. Secretary of State. Anthony Blinken, current U.S. Secretary of State. Harold Brown, previous Secretary of Defense. Bill Barr, the previous Attorney General. Eric Holder, the Attorney General before him. And this is just to name a few, right? So what exactly is the Cloward Piven strategy that they teach there? Well, it's a strategy to speed up the fall and collapse of...
Hold on, I'm having like feedback on my headphones. 1 second. Sorry about that. And hopefully we're back. Hopefully it's good.
Capitalism by systematically overwhelming the government systems with a flood of impossible demands. And it
systematically overflood. Okay, so systematically overflooding the government with an impossible demands. It certainly seems that way.
The fall and collapse of capitalism by systematically overwhelming the government systems with a flood of impossible demands. And it ends up pushing society into a crisis and an economic collapse in order to, get this, bring down America and the entire capitalist system. Yes, this is real. This is what they teach. Cloward Piven strategy. Look it up. Now, this Cloward Piven strategy teaches people how to overwhelm the system with massive spending, entitlements, and debt. Sound familiar? And the goal is literally...
it's like massive spending, and Biden just introduced that new bill that clearly they're not going to change the way they spend money. They're just going to tax people even more, thus making rich people leave or not do business here or try to find ways to get around it, thus leaving us with the bill. And then the migrant crisis and then crime skyrocketing. I mean, if this is happening, this is like evil to... This is like the most evil thing ever. Student loans, yeah, COVID.
To collapse the entire economy, wipe out the middle class, and bring a nation down to their knees, begging the government to save them. So what's this strategy all about exactly? Let's dig into it a little bit. Now, in the 1966 article, Cloward and Piven, that was his wife, they charged that the ruling classes, the rich, used welfare to weaken the poor, and that by providing a social safety net, that the rich were basically holding the poor people down. They were preventing them from rebelling. They said in the paper, quote, poor people can advance only when the rest of society is afraid of them, end quote. Cloward told the New York Times this, quote, on September 27th, 1970. Now, rather than giving the poor, government handouts, wrote Cloward and Piven, activists should work to sabotage and destroy the welfare system because, as they said in their own words, the collapse of the welfare state would ignite a political and financial crisis that would rock the nation. Poor people would rise in revolt, and only then would the rest of society accept their demands. What a strategy. Now, the key to sparking this rebellion would be to expose the inadequacy of the welfare state. Cloward Piven's early promoters cited radical organizer Saul Alinsky as their inspiration. You might recognize that name, Saul Alinsky. He wrote a book called Rules Radicals. It's what Obama says that he read. It's what Hillary Clinton said they read. If you read the book, it's going to explain a lot of what's going on.
Don't like
One
that.
of the things that he wrote in his book is something saying, quote, make the enemy live up to their own book of rules. So, when pressed to honor every word of every law and every statute, every moral tenet and every implicit promise of the liberal social construct, human agencies inevitably fall short. The system's failure to, quote, live up to its rulebook can then be used to discredit it altogether and to replace the capitalist rulebook with a socialist one. So that explains the plan. But how did they plan to implement it? Okay, well, a key component of the plan involved fooling the voters by calling yourself moderate and a uniter, even though you're a radical Marxist, and to never, ever admit what you really believe in. It involved demonizing your opponents by calling them evil, greedy, extreme, radical, and a terrorist.
And MAGA extremist, white supremacist. Like, when you start to hear these kind of strategies, and then you kind of see the chess pieces and the players and how they're moving the chess pieces, that literally freaks me out. Like, this, if this is what's happening, is it too late?
Look in the mirror and call your opponents the very things that you are. The plan teaches to always hide your true intentions, or in other words, lie or misrepresent, whatever you want to call it. Obamacare is about saving the uninsured as opposed to, income redistribution. Government regulations are to protect us from global warming as opposed to, wiping out small businesses. Amnesty for illegal immigration is about fairness as opposed to creating 12 million new Democratic voters. Now, the key to it all is to what they say, boil the frog slowly. So by the time he realizes what's happening, he'd be cooked. The authors of this strategy, proposed a, quote, massive drive to recruit the poor onto the welfare rolls. They calculated that.
That's already happening. Medicaid's already overwhelmed.
By persuading even a fraction of potential welfare recipients to demand their entitlements, it would bankrupt the entire system. The result, they predicted, would be a, quote, a profound financial and political crisis.
I don't see why not. Government has been selling fear and division for the power for generations now. Oh, 100%. Yeah, because fear, the only thing that's stronger than fear, and this is from the Hunger Games series, so write this down. You know it's a good word. The only thing stronger than fear is hope. That's it. And when you feel like it's hopeless, it's done. That's why I try not to be black-pilled as much as I possibly can, because the minute you're black-pilled, you're just susceptible to everything. I feel like the shutdowns were peak, and now they're just not going to be shining no more. COVID lockdowns for your safety, wealth redistribution. Good Lord. The largest wealth transfer in the history of our great nation happened during that time. Corporations got stronger than ever, and mom and pop businesses slowly died, and people didn't care. The people that are supposed to be for the mom and pop, my dad always talked about just a little bit more room at the kitchen table guy. They didn't care about mom and pop businesses dying. They pretend like they hate Jeff Bezos, but then they make him richer even though they raise taxes on it. It's like, hey, we're going to make you richer, Jeff, but we're going to get rid of your competition. And the only thing that is going to be bad for you is we're going to raise a little bit of taxes, but you're going to make so much more money now that there isn't any small businesses that it's not going to matter how much you pay in taxes, because you'll be so rich and the poor will be so poor you'll be able to control them still.
That would unleash.
Super chatted $19.99. $19.99 from K-Bean. Thank you for educating us on this.
Thank you so much for the super chat, K-Bean. Hey, I'm not educating you. You educated me. This is what this community is all about. If you guys come up with something and I'm like, what's that? I don't have enough pride to be like, oh yeah, I know what that is. I want to know more.
Quote, powerful forces for major economic reforms at the national level. Now, this article also called for, quote, aggressive organizers, end quote, to use demonstrations to create a climate of militancy. Now, they would use carefully orchestrated media campaigns. They would float the idea of a federal program of income redistribution in the form of a guaranteed living income for all. Like a universal basic income? for working and non-working people alike. Is this starting to sound familiar?
Yes.
Now, the plan's goal was to mobilize the poor people en masse, to overwhelm government agencies with a flood of demands beyond the capacity of those agencies to meet. Sort of like what we're seeing in Italy. Sort of like what we're seeing at the southern border. Now, they would do this in hopes of breaking the budget, jam the bureaucratic gears into gridlock, and bring the entire system crashing down. Fear, turmoil, violence, and economic collapse would accompany such a breakdown, providing perfect conditions for fostering radical change. At least, that was the theory anyway. Now, I know that sounds bad.
This video stops.
I know it. Super chatted.
Whoa, it happens again.
99 cents.
Thank you so much,
$19.99 from KB. Thank you for educating us on this.
No, thank you. That is so creepy. I mean, it makes sense though. If you didn't know the name of that strategy or that theory or that process or whatever, you have that feeling of just crime going higher, inflation rising, and they continue to say that prices are coming down. Lie. As we just had a new inflation report saying it rose the past month. It's not at where it's expected. Then you have inner cities where the police forces are diminished. They can't recruit people anymore to even work. So who fills that vacuum but the military? Then we have the military come in. Planes are going down and struggling to fly all of a sudden. Therefore, making you stay at home. Making you afraid to leave where you live. And then the government comes in when these corporations start ultimately failing. And these small businesses fail because they can't keep playing the debt game. And then the government comes in and saves the day. All the while, World War III seems more than likely starting to pop up. We just had Putin say Russia is ready for nuclear war. Israel and Palestine are continuing to go. China is always flirting with Taiwan. Sweden joining NATO. There are just too many chess pieces moving right now. Which reminds me, I don't always want to just be a doom and gloom podcaster. It's just another reminder that, hug the ones you love dearly. Keep a tight circle of people that you love nearby. Make a difference in people's lives. And know that your life is bigger than what the government can do to you. Always. Always. That there is always hope, even in the darkest of night. Always hope. But hearing that strategy is so creepy to me and just depressing. And to think that the Republicans are different or they're going to make changes. They're not different. Michael Malice, I don't know if you guys know who that guy is, but he always says that Republicans or conservatives are progressives with speed bumps. And that's ultimately what they always turn out to be. The ones that actually want to make change, try to either step away or don't actually make any changes, or they just become like Dan Crenshaw and they just get rich, or they step away because they realize it's all BS. And we're all just trying to pretend that we're doing stuff. We're making these grand gesture speeches. We're not actually changing anything. While people's lives are getting worse, our entire government is focused on TikTok. Yes, TikTok is bad and all that kind of crap. We can have that conversation. That last video we just watched was on TikTok. But is TikTok really on the forefront of your mind? I'm going to guess it's not. I'm going to guess that TikTok hasn't ruined your life as much as the politicians have. Just a thought. Call me crazy. Leo Strauss, Neil Kahn, COVID yes, everything has worked out. Everything has a way of working itself out. Yeah, I hope so. Sometimes it's darkest before the night, and then we can all band together and start something better and start something new. And maybe go back to the Bill of Rights. Go back to what we're intended to be. I don't know. Maybe a little national divorce would shake things up a bit. Doesn't have to end in violence. Doesn't have to be about violence, but who knows? It all aligns with the great reset weirdos that want. Yeah, I know. I know it does. Well, if people are resetting, it's easier to start a new program, isn't it? It's easy to start a new foundation. Obama's on the video holding that book. Yeah. Clinton pivots Lee Schwab. Love him. He's my grandma. Guys, love this chat. Love what's going on. Let's have a little palate cleanser after that depressing shizzle. Okay. What the heck is going on at CNN? And when I say CNN, I mean CNBC. This is a serious news program and about business. And what are they talking about? Cocaine, go.
Lines of cocaine.
Wait, what? I want you to imagine where the rest of this interview goes. So, lines of cocaine. Now what?
Lines of cocaine and away from these short sellers who are going short on a truly great American company, not just ours, but just love pulling down great American companies so that they can pay for their Coke. And the best thing that could happen to them is we will lead their Coke dealers to their homes after they can't pay their bills. And that's one of my...
Surely all short sellers...
Yeah, well, go ahead,
habits.
do your thing, we'll do our thing.
So, as it relates to the battlefield, you're talking about America's edge. You've all...
Lines of cocaine and away from...
We have officially reached the arc where CEOs in America are going absolutely nuts. Lines of cocaine.
Lines of cocaine and away from these short sellers who are going short on a truly great American company, not just ours, but just love pulling down great American.
You might say, Derek, what's the context of the video? Does it matter? I'm going to ask you, does this matter? You have a guy talking about doing cocaine and cocaine dealers on CNBC and he's the CEO of Defense Software. I'm here for this. This is the Americans our forefathers dreamed about. That all men are created equal and can do the purest of Colombian decaffeinated crystals. It doesn't matter. Yeah, no, nothing matters anymore. We're CEOs. Trump will rescue us. I don't know, man. Maybe. I don't know. If we have CEOs doing live, I won't rest until CNBC becomes an all-drug podcast, all-drug channel. Let them all do.
Lines of cocaine and away from these short sellers who are going short on a truly great American company, not just ours, but just love pulling down great American companies so that they can pay for their Coke. And the best thing that could happen to them is we will lead their Coke dealers to their homes after they can't pay their bills. And that's one of my...
Surely all short sellers...
Yeah, well...
We will lead their Coke dealers to their homes. Oh, CNBC is real news. I'm long on... Yeah, me too. I'm not short selling this. I'm going, long and strong. Let's say, wait, PLTR. Let's check PLTR stock today. What did it end with? PLTR. Let's see what we're working with. Yeah. See, this is what happens. You get a CEO talking about Coke, and all of a sudden, it goes. Lead the Coke dealers. Yeah. Great news. Top 5 stock in 5 years. Outspoken pro-Israel views. Oh, where's the Coke? Not enough Coke talk. I'm super long on it. Jeepers, hugs to you all. Can you cry on my shoulders? Utmost first highs. Yeah, I can cry on your shoulders too. I don't know what you mean, but I want to cry on your shoulders. Nice. Lead the Coke dealers onward. Lead the Coke dealers onward. What does Nancy do? I don't know. All right. This is where, okay. We've talked about inflation. We've talked about shrinkflation. But Janet Yellen, thank you. Janet Yellen today I didn't realize I kept it on. Janet Yellen today that she feels bad about saying inflation was transitory.
In 2021, you did say that inflation was transitory. Do you regret saying that now?
I regret saying it was transitory. It has come down, but I think transitory means a few weeks or months to most people.
In 2021, you did say that inflation...
I do regret saying it was transitory. Oh, you regret it? You regret lying to people, creating an entire narrative that Joe Biden is doing a hell of a job, as last month came out that inflation has in fact gone up from expected and gone up from the month before, so therefore getting worse. One more time. Janet Yellen, what did you say?
2021, you did say that inflation was transitory. Do you regret saying that now?
I regret saying it was transitory. It has come down, but I think transitory means a few weeks or months to most people.
In 2021, you did say that inflation was...
Transitory. So if she's lying about that, is Joe Biden lying about shrinkage? Snickers fires back at Joe Biden claim that the company is duping customers with shrinkflation. Snickers is contradicting President Joe Biden's claim that the size of candy bars are being secretly reduced. In State of the Union, he said, look, too many corporations. That's the worst, Biden. Look, too many corporations. I don't have a Biden. God, I'm sorry. Raise prices on pads to pad their profits, charging more for less and less. That's why we're cracking down on corporations that engage in price gouging. Deceptive pricing from food to healthcare to housing, Biden said. In fact, the snack companies, get this. Okay, waka waka, get this. The snack companies think you won't notice the change in the size of the bag. Put a hell of a lot fewer of the same size bag. Put few chips in it. I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. So Biden goes on to say this. He said, you probably saw the commercial on Snickers bars. You get charged the same amount and you got about, 10% fewer Snickers in it, which made absolutely 0 sense. But Snickers decides, excuse me? No. Not in my neck of the woods, boy. No way. Said, we have not, they put out a statement. Mars Bars Incorporated. I'm going long on Mars. We have not reduced the size of Snickers singles or share size in the U.S. Wait, does that make Joe Biden a liar? No, it can't be.
Suck on this, Biden.
Like many industries, we continue to face inflation and spikes in material cost. However, we work to absorb these extra costs whenever possible to provide affordable treats and the best value. Final prices are always at the discretion of the retailer, but we make every effort to minimize costs and provide a full range of delicious products. No! So, who do I believe? Lying Snickers or...
2021 that now.
I regret saying it was transitory.
Joe Biden, do you regret saying that shrinkage is a thing?
I regret saying it was transitory.
Okay, I thought so. Thanks for lying. Next. God. That's amazing. It's amazing the things they try to spin. You can't dumb yourself down enough to do Biden. Yeah, thank you. I know. Sue for slander. I hope they do sue the Biden administration for slander. Biden would BS a BSer. Yeah. Hey, you can't BS a BSer. One time my grandpa said that to me. He's like, Derek, you can't BS a BSer. I was like, I am the BS that you seek. Whatchamacallit will not stand for this. No, they will not. I don't even know what this quote means right here. When he says, okay, in fact, the snack companies think you won't notice if they change the size of the bag and put a hell of a lot fewer same size bag, just put fewer chips in it. No, I'm not joking. It's called shrinkflation. But this right here, you probably all saw the commercial on Snickers bars. You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. What? What do you... You probably all saw that commercial on Snickers bars. Sometimes when you read a Joe Biden quote, you have to read it 100 times to even understand what the heck's going on. You get charged the same amount, you got about, 10% fewer Snickers in it. How many Snickers are in a Snicker bar? I usually get one. Anyways, I trust Joe Biden in this. Inflation is transitory. There's less Snickers than... Every time I buy a Snickers bar, I'm only getting one. So there had to have been a time when Snickers had more Snickers. I'm in the wrong, not me, not Joe Biden. How dare I? Subway introduces $5 1-inch long subs. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Not so funny anymore. No, it's not. I'm learning so much. I don't even know what to do with myself. Leave it to Biden to insult his own intelligence. Exactly. All right, guys. I've had so much fun with you guys tonight. I hope you guys have had fun. A little hour and 15 minutes of your time, of your life, just enjoying the night. If you missed the beginning of the show, I highly recommend you scroll back and look at the beginning and just check it out. We will be putting the NPCs on TikTok. We will miss them. We will pray for them. They will have to find new jobs, and I don't know what to do. Great show. I'll scroll back. Hey, KB, and I appreciate you. Thank you so much for that super chat. Willie, thanks so much for being a member. I appreciate all my members and all you guys do in this chat, in this community. The most amazing community on the freaking face of the planet. I think always, like, my favorite thing about live streamers is that, like, you could tell a lot about a live streamer by their community, and I love this community. Like, I would hang out with you guys, and I think that says a lot. Not that we're not all a bunch of psychopaths or like 12-year-olds just talking crap to each other. I don't know. I just like you guys. You guys are cool. I hope you guys have a freaking wonderful night. Enjoy the night, and I'm gonna try to go live in the morning as well. So look out for my morning show that's live as well. I'm gonna try to start doing my morning shows live because I enjoy the live shows more than just like at night. I want to do live morning shows, and so the morning shows might be a little shorter because it might be just like smaller bits of news or something like that, or more one story focus, something like that. So come say hi in the morning. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you guys so much. Peace out. See you tomorrow night or in the morning. Whatever you do, be sure to stop by and say